Good evening and welcome to SVG-TV News for Friday, July 5th, 2019. I am Rochelle Batiste with the details. New winners emerged last evening at Steel and Glitter 2019 in the Panorama competition. Last year's winner, Sand Hill Euphonium Steel Orchestra, was beaten into second place. In the section of the band's competition, a new winner also emerged. Larissa Pugsley Kidd tells us more in this report.
Tennessee Starlip Steel Orchestra is this year's Panorama champion with their performance Whole Night by L. Plank at Steel and Glitter last evening at the Victoria Park. The Starlip Steel Orchestra displaced last year's winner Sand Hill Euphonium Steel Orchestra into second place, which also performed Whole Night by L. Plank. Coming in third in this year's Panorama competition was Symphonix Steel Orchestra with their rendition Love in Canton by Touch. Seven steel pan bands enter this year's competition. The winner will receive $33,000, second prize $22,000, and third place $16,500. Meanwhile, in the second of the bands competition, My Imagination Mass Band came out on top. They won with Angel of the Morning with their presentation Watch Out for This. The second position went to Extreme FM 104.3 GNT Enterprise Links Mass Band with their section Jet Blue of their 2019 presentation Come Fly With. In third place was Metrozen General Insurance High Voltage Mass Production. Their section was Surrender on their White The Glow Edition presentation. In fourth place was the Tribes Mass Band with their section Rainforest with this year's presentation Endangered. Reporting for SVG-TV News, Larissa Pugsley Kidd.
Every year around this time, thousands of persons swarm to capital city Kingston for the Carnival weekend activities, which include the Soca Monarch and the Mardi Gras competitions, Juve, the Monday Band Street Jump Up, and for Mardi Gras Day. However, after the festivities are over, many health centers across the country and doctors' offices are filled with persons suffering with various infections. Giving some advice to the public, infectious disease specialist Dr. Josie Davey said large crowds present an opportunity for viruses to spread. She said good hygiene is a must to keep healthy during this time.
Because really these things happen when persons gather in large groupings. So the same things that would happen at Carnival would potentially happen at Christmas when we come out for 9 mornings. So we want to remind the public about things like acute viral illnesses, or what we call the flu, and remind persons that if they cough, they really should wash their hands. They should cough into a tissue and discard it and not out into the air so that other persons won't get sick. We know everyone wants to go out and enjoy the season, but if you're sick, we really advise that you stay home. But if you have to come out, you have to practice good hand hygiene, washing your hands. If there's no soap or water, there is always the hand sanitizers, as we are preaching. And the signs and symptoms of flu, you know, the fever, the body pain, the joint pain, but lots of things can simulate the symptoms of flu. So if you're unsure as to what's going on with you, it's always important to check your physician or a healthcare provider.
Dr. Davies said foodborne illnesses is also an issue during the season and highlighted what persons should look out for when purchasing food.
The gastroenteritis, they're also popular in this season. Remember to have food from approved vendors and not the person who you see who is selling and there is no water supply so they can wash their hands. If you see persons giving you food and taking money at the same time and they're not cleaning their hands, warning sign there. Be careful not to touch all surfaces in public because other people touch them and they leave their viruses behind. If you have to touch the surfaces, again, wash your hands. protect yourself. So those are the two major things that happen when large groups of people come together.
At this time, the HIV/AIDS unit is also engaged in activities to encourage safe sex, and the infectious disease specialist is reminding persons that to prevent the spread of HIV is not only the sexual transmitted disease they must protect themselves against.
And of course, we know Carnival is associated to lots of alcohol beverages, and people get drunk, they have unprotected sex. So we want to remind persons that, one, do not get to the point where you're so intoxicated that you don't know what you're doing with your life. And to use protection, we're talking about condoms from the start of the intercourse to the end. Not that you start and then you put it on and then you continue, because there is risk with the secretions. So that's a warning as well, because not only is there HIV, but there are other STDs, STIs as we like to say out there. There is syphilis, which we have seen an increase in cases. There is chlamydia, herpes, gonorrhea, human T lymphotropic virus. The list is long, and we really want people to be careful with their health.
Meanwhile, Dr. Davy is appealing to revelers to resolve disputes peacefully during the season, while at the same time encouraging persons to get enough rest and eat properly.
One, stay hydrated, consume less alcohol. These are things that you need to do. Eat, you need to have food. And I know that there are people who go around the clock and they don't, put the nutrients in, and you really should. And I think people generally should not overdo it. I am not going to give my beliefs about Carnival, but each person will get to make their decisions. But ultimately, you should be treating your body well, getting sleep, getting well fed, exercise. People know what to do, but sometimes they don't very often do these things. And where it comes to violence, because we do lose a lot of people through violence, really you should communicate well and not resolve everything with fights or with a gun. That's major for us as well.
And licensed firearm holders are being encouraged to use the services provided by the RSVG police force to keep their weapons safe. This encouragement comes from Assistant Superintendent of Police Hezron Ballantyne as he spoke at a recently held Carnival exhibition to sensitize the public on issues of safety during the season. On social media, a few persons have expressed concern over licensed firearm holders attending events with their weapons exposed. ASP Ballantyne said such persons should be more responsible and highlighted how one can secure their firearm while at these shows.
Well, I must say firearm holders should be responsible persons. And if a person is a holder of a firearm, a licensed holder of a firearm, I expect the person to move with it at all times. If they are leaving it at home, it must be in a secure area. And I think one of the requirements for firearms is for persons to have a vault. So if the person is leaving home and do not want to take the firearm to these shows, then they ought to make sure that they are secured properly. If you turn up to the show, we have something in place where we have a booth or we have a command center. That person can go to this command center, leave the firearm, sign for it, make sure that it is checked out properly by our persons who are stationed there, and they can go to the show, enjoy themselves, get back to the command center, sign out for the firearm, and then on their way home.
ASP Ballantyne made it clear that the idea is not to prevent persons from taking their firearms with them for protection.
Because I do not want to tell somebody not to take the firearm with them, because you never know what can happen between the end of the show to their home. And that might be the time, the most critical time, that they might need their firearm to assist them and even persons who are within their company. So I will not deter a person. I ask person not to take the firearm with them. I will encourage persons to still take the firearm, because we have a system in place once they arrive at these shows that they can have their firearm secured properly.
A number of persons were in capital city Kingston today shopping and preparing for some of the most anticipated carnival events which will take place over the weekend. Our news team spoke with a number of vendors on the streets of Kingston who said that business has been very good since the season began.
Since the Carnival season start, everybody coming in, everybody buying. Cheap prices, so everybody buying. Yes, please.
So you think you're getting more sale than
normal? Yes, please. I'm getting a lot of sales.
Well, you know, Carnival season is really good so far. You know, just want to thank all my customers. I want to encourage persons to come out and keep supporting us. You know, it's great so far for this season.
Yeah. Well, the place now start to pick up. Yeah, the place now start to get interesting since last weekend and the whole of this week. Since the visitors and them is really coming and spending the money. So we give thanks for the atmosphere right now.
Well, right now I cannot complain. It is going very well, very well.
So you think you are getting better sale than throughout the year?
Well, what I will say that throughout the year, my sale going good. I always have my customer coming and everything like that. So my business always, you know, on balance going. Yeah, it's always going good.
It's not that bad, you know. A few days it's good, and other days it's just slow. You know, I think right now mostly people try to go into the shows and try to save the money, and I think more people try to more compromise about spending the money and what they're spending on. But the business is good. Can't complain really. You know, once you have the right product, people spending their money.
Okay.
Our news team also got the views of some persons on who they think will win the major competitions for the season, namely the Power Soca Monarch, the Raga Soca Monarch, Calypso Monarch, and the Band of the Year competition.
Okay, so who do you think will be winning?
Fireman, of course. You don't even have to finish the statement. Fireman, yeah.
And what about Raga Soca?
Fireman, I'm a Fireman fan.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Raga taking both?
Of course. Road March too.
And Road March?
Of course.
I think Blondie Bird is gonna be a force to reckon with this year. So I'm looking forward for great things from them this year.
And it's like for me, Fire Empress have a nice show. To be honest, because last night at the practice, when she go on and sing, it was very nice, decent.
Understand? It's a real tight up with the Raga Soca now because Hans did the Uptown party, Scorpion did with the rum do that. Who else? Fireman did it too. GPS boy, thing mad.
Alright.
St. Vincent and the Grenadines now has 38 more skilled persons in Level 1 Caribbean Vocational Qualification, CVQ Data Operations, Food and Drink Service, Food Preparation and Cookery, Electrical Installation and Welding. These were the latest graduates from the Camden Park Technical Institute, one of the 4 technical institutes in the country that are preparing their graduates with skills to meet opportunities locally and abroad. The 2019 graduating class received their certificates and prizes at a ceremony held last Friday at the Apostolic Faith Mission Church at Camden Park under the theme Where Skills Meet Opportunity. Edika Peters, valedictorian, received the award for data operations. Principal of the CPTI, David Peniston, told the graduating class that graduation is a reminder that they have made it, that they have been successful. He extended thanks to several private sector entities that have assisted the institute in the past in terms of taking students on for internships. The CPTI principal urged members of the audience and the public to employ the graduates so that they can gain experience and make use of the services of the institute. Senior Education Officer with responsibility for TVET, Endel Johnson, said education is more than just gaining subjects. Johnson stated that he is pleased that the education system is moving away from traditional forms of education. He also revealed that the Beckway Community High School will be expanded with additional classrooms for a TVET wing and that plans are in place for the construction of a TVET center in Union Island. He also stated that the 4 technical institutes on St. Vincent will be upgraded with smart classrooms. Director of the National Qualifications Department, Kenroy Kittels, urged the graduates to take advantage of opportunities locally and regionally. He called on the private sector to partner with the institute to provide internships and or jobs to the graduates. The Florida Caribbean Association is inviting students of St. Vincent and the Grenadines to participate in the 2019 FCCA Foundation for the Caribbean Children's Essay Competition. The competition is open to children in the junior division 12 years old and under, and the senior division 13 to 16 years of age. The prize for the junior division ages 12 years and under, the students who place first along with his or her school will each receive $3,000. Second place will receive $1,500 and third place $1,000. In the senior division, ages 13 to 16, the prices are the same. The topic for the essay is many cruise passengers use cruising as a way to sample different destinations. What impression does my country leave on the passengers, and how does it or should it attract them back as stay-over guests? Essays should be submitted to the Ministry of Tourism, Sports and Culture no later than Monday, the 15th of July, 2019. Making recommendations earlier this week on how to address some of the deficiencies with the current employment laws, economist Steve Stewart took the opportunity to clarify the law as it relates to constructive dismissal. Addressing a forum hosted by the Chamber of Industry and Commerce, Stewart explained that under specific circumstances, an employee can quit his or her job and still receive severance payment. Stewart pointed out that in a situation where an employee may have endured sexual harassment, the company can be asked to make such a payment to the employee.
The employee finds the employment relationship to be intolerable, such that they cannot continue in the employment field. Of course, the law provides for them to sever, and that would be regarded as being terminated by the employer. I give you one example. The issue of sexual harassment. If an employee finds it rather difficult to work in such way, he or she has been harassed sexually, can they continue? All right, and so they have the option of quitting, and it would be deemed constructive dismissal, which would then entitle you to severance.
Members of the private sector have raised issues relating to this provision and call for serious consideration to be made to allow for a more equitable provision.